Very
Oh
exciting.
my gosh, yay, I'm honored.
Yay! And we're live, according to the check marks on my screen, but who knows? I'll find out later. Hello, everyone who is joining us. You might be seeing us on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on YouTube. No matter where you are, welcome and hello. And Steph, just so you know, there's kind of notifications on our screen. They're not actually reliable. So hopefully, if somebody posts a comment or a question, we will see it. But honestly, I can't promise anything because technology. So anyway, hello. I'm Magda. Those of you who know me, hi, welcome back. Nice to see you in 2021. Those of you who don't know me, I am CEO of Coach Area, which is a leadership and coaching and personal and professional development firm. We do all of it. We want to help you become your best self. So if that's what you want, then you found the right place. And I thought that it would be great to start off the year with someone who works with people on one of the, if not the number one New Year resolution on the planet, which is weight loss / getting in shape, perhaps, not sure. So I thought it'd be great to have the lovely Stephanie from stepitupwithsteph.com. Please visit, please subscribe, please engage, to showcase her as our first Wonder Woman of the year and learn about her and her journey. So hello, Steph. Welcome
Hi,
to...
Magda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited and I'm honored to be the first, Wonder Woman of 2021.
And I love your energy. It's so nice to have someone who's like, yay, as crazy as me.
I know. We could go on for hours, but we won't. We'll just get started. Yeah.
Do you have a cat or a dog?
I do not.
Damn. Would have been pretty funny if like a cat walked up, because I have those and that usually happens. Then it would really match our energies.
I joke that, it's hard enough for me to make sure that I'm eating on the eating schedule that I set for myself as a health and fitness coach, let alone be able to feed, an animal.
I understand. That's okay. I won't hold it against you.
Yeah.
I have extra creatures to fill in for the one that you don't have. It's okay.
Okay, yes, thank you.
So Steph, so great to have you here. I kind of want to start from the beginning. This Wonder Woman series is all about getting to know some amazing, cool, awesome women, learn their journeys, support them. I think a lot of times we kind of take for granted the journeys that people have gone through and the personal and professional, not just challenges or hardships, but just the story that they've gone through. We just kind of think people they kind of arrived and that's it. So this series is all about discovering what were those steps, what makes you tick, what are you passionate about, and hopefully little girls who have your same interest will be like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, I can do that. And people who can benefit from your expertise will also be like, hey, that's pretty cool, I want to work with Steph. So we're here for you. So I'm going to ask you questions, but let's maybe start off with just you telling us who you are and, your whole life story.
I just hang out. Yes. And to that point, Magda, a lot of people say like, oh, you must have always like been thin, or you must have always been on TV, or you must have always, like been well-spoken, and the well-spoken part is true. But everything else, like this has taken, over a decade for me to build up not only my coaching business, but also, the media presence. And that is really what my dream was going into this, was being able to help as many people as possible. So I enjoy the one-on-one coaching that I currently do, weight loss coaching for women, mostly, very successful in their professional life, but looking for more help personally with weight loss. But I also love doing the media, where you see me, I've been doing so much stuff for CNN and the Today Show and all these other outlets that want this. They want, how do I make my healthy, fit, weight loss resolution stick? So, going back, I struggled with weight loss. I, to some it sounds like a lot, to others it sounds like a little bit, but I was 25 pounds overweight once I stopped playing organized sports. Growing up, I was a tomboy, but Then once I became an adult, that faded away. I was addicted to carbs. I was addicted to soda. If there was sugar on it, I was eating it all day long. And I also really I did not like working out. I felt like it was a chore. I felt like I had to do it because I didn't like my body. And, aside from that, I was also an insomniac. I had a really challenging time sleeping. I was on sleeping medication. I had anxiety medication I would take during the day. And then I also had really bad back pain. I was seeing a chiropractor every week since I was 11 years old. So I really, transformed my life, so to speak. I got my back under control through Pilates. I got my anxiety and sleep under control through yoga. Just once a week, I started doing deep breathing and a slow yoga class at a local gym. And then I also really focused on the spiritual side, like the self-acceptance and the self-love and the self-talk, being kind to myself. And I studied messages in the media, for women: be this size, eat this, not that, work out to negate the chips you ate, or, do this to attract a guy or get a promotion or whatever. And I wanted to create messages that were opposite of that were all about, what works for you and what's in your heart that would actually make a difference in your life. So around all that time, it took me about 5 years or so, I would say. And I was working in television, and then I decided, in order for me to have my own, show and help people on my own, I had to start my own brand. And so that's when I started Step It Up with Steph, which I can talk more about if you want. But basically, I was printing out business cards on my computer printer because I didn't know you could order them from a website. I was hanging flyers to work with people in grocery stores and Starbucks. I had no idea what a niche was. And I was recording YouTube videos. So that was 13 years ago.
Wow, 13 years. So okay, so I understand what motivated you to get into this, and you played sports when you were younger, but was that the direct connection, or was there a step in between you because of a different career before you did all this?
I always wanted to be in television and to create positive messages on TV. And I've always loved, talking.
I can relate.
Yeah. I write all these articles and everyone's like, "You're such a good writer." And, I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But it's writing, I would just rather speak it, So I always knew I wanted to be in television, but I was like, I want to make a difference. So I started working for bigger shows. I would book guests for the Dr. Phil show. I worked there for a season. I worked at Lifetime TV for Women in New York. I interned at a PBS station in New York, but it was all behind the scenes. And so I felt like in order for me to get out of that, I had to create my own brand and message. And, even though I was a tomboy growing up, I still didn't enjoy working out. I mean, I still now, before the pandemic, I was going to the gym and going on the treadmill or the elliptical. And I shifted how I viewed exercise. So it's not that I started playing sports again and enjoyed it. It's just I changed my mindset around, working out and what it was for me.
Isn't that so funny how I think in general, we separate the whole physical working on myself from the mental working on yourself, but they are so interrelated. And, in kind of thinking about our chat today, I was thinking about my own hangout preconceptions and whatever. And look, right now, I am overweight. In the past year and a half, I gained some weight. But I also turned 40. So something, I don't know, I feel like I've stabilized at a new stable. But then since then, I've also gained a bit more weight. So I could lose a good 25 pounds minimum.
Okay.
But if I want to go back to my ideal, I think I need to go down 35 pounds, frankly.
Yeah.
So I know I have my own challenges, and I just started thinking to myself, why do I even want to lose the weight? What is motivating me? And I started examining those questions and other messages that you talked about that we get from media. I put on my coach hat on, and I started thinking of, okay, well, what am I, what's actually behind this? Am I just doing something because I think this is what I'm supposed to do? Am I doing it because there's a specific reason for it? And practically, what's the reason versus what's going to make me happy? And just I went down this rabbit hole, and made me realize that there's a reason people like you exist, because you need that guidance.
Right. Well, and to your point, Magda, like putting on the coaching hat, it's like sometimes you need someone outside of yourself to do it for you, to put on the coaching hat. Because a lot of my clients and the women I work with, and this is how I was too, albeit I was younger, and I definitely do think that it gets more challenging to lose weight as you get older, because our bodies are changing, and it's like, the old tricks don't work anymore. And so it's like, it does get a little bit harder, more challenging, I would say. But when I was younger, that's what I thought. I thought like, oh my gosh, I don't like my body, so I need to make a change. But then I was like, no, I need to go deeper. Like, what else do I want from that? One of my clients a few years ago had a list of 10 resolutions, and the only resolution in July when she contacted me that she hadn't completed was, I want to lose 15 pounds because I hate my body. And that was the only resolution that she had put in like a negative, like self-deprecating, jargon. So in changing, the reason why, that really is then how you can reach the goal more quickly. And it's the same for any goal that you work with clients on, so any coach who's coaching someone is probably going to dig deeper, just like we're digging deeper with the weight loss, because what fires me up to lose weight isn't what fires you up to lose weight, isn't what fires someone else up to lose weight. So, and I also think like looking at it in a smaller chunk. So maybe it's like, 4 pounds a month is the goal. Then it makes it less overwhelming. I'm not a fan of weighing yourself every single day. Some people are, and that works for others, but I just feel like it's too much of a mind, screw up to see the number and then judge yourself by the number potentially. So yeah, starting small and then having like some good reasons why, that are personal to you definitely helps, with this goal and other goals.
So what are some common reasons why that people, not that they come to you, actually, I want to hear both. People, when they come to you, what do they think is the reason? And then based on working with them, what are some common reasons that are actually the cause of wanting to lose weight?
Yeah, so a lot of people initially come to me and say they want to lose weight because they feel disgusted by how they look in the mirror and they have no clothes that fit them anymore. Also, they feel like they've lost themselves, and they don't recognize who they see in the mirror. So those are reasons why, people contact, or, my clients say that they contact me. But really when we get into it, like what they want is to feel confident and feel proud of themselves when they walk into a room, pre-pandemic, or feel excited when they look in their closet and they know that they can wear certain things and not have to, cover up certain areas. Feel more confident if they're dating or if they're married, like feel more confident around a partner or a potential partner and not be worried about how they look. So it's more about like the empowerment and like the sense of accomplishment and like the outside matches how they feel on the inside, rather than because they don't like what they're seeing or how they're feeling. So that's, and for me, as I did my life coaching certification, before I started all of this, that's what really stood out to me, is that like positive self-talk and the positive psychology, and how can I sort of brainwash myself to think that those positive things are possible. And then also taking it a step further, talk about it in the present tense. So instead of saying, I want to be excited to get dressed in the morning, saying, I'm excited to get up and get dressed in the morning. I love looking at my clothes that fit me. And the more you sort of brainwash yourself and tell that to yourself, then the more you start acting like it. You're like, oh yeah, I am gonna, have half my serving of pasta plus my meatballs and salad, rather than my full plate of pasta and no salad, Yeah. So you just start acting that way because you're telling yourself that that's already happening for you. So does this sound too complex, or?
I don't think so. I think it's just, it's really reinforcing. It's really emotional. And I'd love to hear, why do you think people tend to resolve to lose weight around this time, because the kinds of things that are motivating us, if I'm thinking of the surface ones, right?
Right.
There are different times of year, potentially, like summer, for example, I would think is
Right.
when you are seeing more of your body yourself as well.
Yeah.
And maybe you're more conscious of, I need to do something. Yet that's not the number one time when you start these things. And then emotionally, there's different triggers throughout the year and the day and whatever that could be, the real reasons why somebody wants to lose weight. Why do you think we all put it off until January 1st? Like, why is it so magical?
It's a great question. I think that and I hope I'm not overestimating the population, but I think that people are like so reflective about, okay, how was
Okay.
I feel like I haven't been to a New Year's Eve party in like 8 years, because I wake up normally on January 1st and like I'm doing a TV spot really early. But, New Year's Eve, like contemplating, okay, what is the main thing I want to focus on for the next year? And like reflecting and saying, okay, well, I did this, I did that, I sort of did this, I sort of that. But I'm still stuck with, X. And it's a health issue, or it's, they don't like the way they look, or they don't like how they feel, or they don't have enough energy. So it kind of like the reflection makes you go back towards yourself and inward. At least that's my opinion. I don't have
the reflection in the glass of champagne they're holding.
Yeah, right. I know. It could also be because, it's like the holidays and people are overindulging, or so they think. And so it's like, all right, I'm gonna reel it in January 1st. Yeah, something easy to focus on would be my food, or I'm gonna work out because everyone else is. But I like to think it's a little deeper than that.
Yeah. One hopes.
Yeah.
And speaking of going a little deeper, so, when coaching, it's coaching in general, doesn't matter what kind of coaching, it's about helping the client go from point A to point B.
Yes.
We believe the client has what it takes. They just need a bit of, asking them the right questions, and so they can find it within themselves.
Yes.
And to get from point A to point B, we all have blocks that are holding us back. And I'm curious, again, I think in your world, there's a lot of what people think things are versus what they actually are.
Yes.
So when it comes to these blocks and standing in people's way of getting healthy and losing weight, what are things that you come across with your clients?
So there are so many things, Magda, that come in the way of, people saying they want to either lose weight or eat healthier or work out more, and then them not. Some of them are easier fixes, I would say, and others are definitely deeper. The easy fixes are, I've had clients that like really despise sweating because they're very uncomfortable. I have other clients who feel anxious when they get out of breath. I have other clients who are afraid that if they, commit to eating healthy for a week, then they're going to binge on the weekend, and then like all their efforts are, shot to heck. I have other clients who, believe it or not, think that if they lose weight and if they are smaller and therefore in their mind they think they're more attractive, then maybe they will get a job or a promotion based on their looks and not on their merit. Or maybe they will attract maybe they'll attract a significant other that likes them just for their body and not for their brain and their heart. And these blocks, I feel like aren't talked about as frequently as the more, I would say, easier fixes. But they're serious, I mean, like there's a reason why we're not doing what we say we want for ourselves. And I really, I feel like for women especially, and this is one of the reasons why I don't work privately with men. They can read and watch everything, but I do one-on-one coaching with women, because women are much more, complex, and I feel emotional. And there's so much more surrounding our appearance, in my opinion, than there is for men.
Totally.
So when it's going through a roadblock like the deeper ones, I always, one of the things I say is if you don't like where you get to, you can always go back. It's not like you're stuck. So let's also work through it, and talk through it. But yeah, you're definitely right. There are a lot of blocks.
Yeah. So I got a tiny bit derailed because it's so interesting, and I want to talk about more about you than just your job. But for those of you guys watching, we will have a webinar with Steph later, like in a month, I think. I have to check the date, but I'll add it in the notes of the episode. So you can definitely hear much more about her work and what she does and how it works. But I want to go back to you a little bit because we went from you wanted to lose your 25 pounds to 13 years later you're a star on TV and you're an amazing coach and fitness trainer and all these great things. But kind of along the way, what were some things that you encountered as blocks? What stood in your way that you overcame?
Yeah, I mean, I still run into this one block. Even today, I was talking with someone about it. I have a very strong gut, like very strong intuition. And, sometimes I don't have the most popular opinion. And I speak up, but probably not as much as I could. So anyways, when I was starting Step It Up with Steph, I had every, business friend tell me, Step It Up with Steph, like, what is that? Is that Step Aerobics? Is that that's such a weird name for a health and wellness business if it's not stepping, literally, stepping up. And so I was like, no, it's Step It Up, like step it up out of your comfort zone, step it up. How can you step it up? So I had to explain it. Then there was, everyone said, like hot pink, that's so abrasive. Why is that your brand color? That's not going to resonate with anyone. That's going to turn people off. And here we are, 13 years later, I hemmed and hawed over it for a while. But like my TV show on PBS is called Step It Up with Steph, because that's what I wanted. I had registered that with the Writers Guild of America, which is where you register like TV show names, in 2010, and then like 10 years later, it's on TV, Step It Up with Steph. So I just feel like, following my gut, like I thought that's just what felt best to me. And it wasn't like just necessarily an impulse gut feeling, but it's more, like taking time to think to myself. Because when you're working, I'm like kind of a one-man band. I have some consultants and some, part-time employees, but it's really all up to me. So I am looking outside for advice, opinions, feedback on what I'm doing. And then at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, my head feels like jumbled with everyone's opinions and voices and the contradictoriness, if that's even a word. So just remembering to sit with myself and breathe. And, I pray to God. So like praying, getting my spiritual connection in alignment so that I stay intact with my gut and my intuition. That's been a big thing for me to do, personally, professionally, as a coach, on camera. So yeah.
Why do you think we don't trust our guts sometimes? Because I feel like women, I mean, it's a thing. Women have a strong gut in general. Why don't we always follow it?
I know. I think a few reasons. One, I think we're going, a million miles a minute. Some people have slowed down a little bit in 2020, which I think is a positive thing. They're able, like, reflecting a little more and being more present and aware because they're doing less things, less social stuff going on. But I also think it's just like, there's so many opinions and voices and different, like, you compare yourself to someone else, or if you have kids, like your kids say one thing or your parents say another thing, or it's sort of like everyone, we have these like committees, that we are used to turning to, or, one person says something like, well, why'd you do that? Sort of in a critical way. And you're like, oh, why did I do that? Was that okay? Was that not okay? You know what I mean? So I think it's just like the constant questioning. And I also do think that, a lot of times the women I speak with is like their opinion or what they think is not popular. Sort of like what I was saying. Like it's not the most, commonly held belief or opinion or way of operating. But when you're looking to, step it up, it's probably not going to be the normal way of doing things or the most comfortable way for most people. So I think being able to support women in trusting their intuitions and their gut and not to go on too long about this, Magda, but something I say, like, when it does come to weight loss and health and fitness is, I'm an expert on it, and there's, other people that are experts, but at the end of the day, you're your own expert on your body. And if something doesn't feel right, if you have a gut feeling that, these foods aren't good for you, or this food is good for you, go with that. So I really believe in, like, empowering women to connect with themselves and do what they think is best, even though there's, experts out there and other people you rely on telling you different stuff.
So being so ingrained in this industry, and I'm guessing being bombarded with all these image things left and right, how do you keep your cool, both in terms of not wanting to beat up some people with these false images and messages, but also in terms of just your own kind of self-esteem and
I love this question.
How do you do it?
I love this question because, so I always said, I said, okay, my dream job attire would be workout clothes because they're so comfortable. And I hate wearing high heels. I'm like so uncomfortable. Like, put me in a pencil skirt and I feel like I'm gonna, like, my butt bust out of it, my legs, I have muscle, but I'm also, like, I'm not skin and bones. And I never wanted to be a fitness model or have a six pack, because to me, I feel like, I wouldn't be able to have my pizza. I wouldn't be able to have my French fries. I wouldn't be able to have my wine. I would have to, like, give up these things that I find enjoyment out of it to get that. And that's never been something I wanted to do. So that's number one for me personally. However, when you do go on camera, it's like the camera adds 10 pounds. So then.
Oh, that's my excuse.
Yeah.
Got it.
Your face does look very chiseled, though, I will say.
Thanks. I think it's the ring light.
Yeah.
Also,
the lights help so much. Yeah, I know.
What's the trick where you go like this or something?
They actually have these chin procedures now that are supposed to make it, like, I don't know exactly, but
different webinar.
Yeah, different webinar. But anyways, I mean, so then professionally for me, it's like, gosh, like, the more camera stuff I was doing, I was starting to be a little more critical. And then I decided, instead of being so critical, I'm going to embrace what I had wanted for myself, which is, like, I don't want to look like a supermodel, ripped fitness person, because that's not, like, I don't want to say normal, but that's not, like, an everyday person that's not focused on health and fitness for their career. Like, it's probably not something that they're going to strive for. So I love being, like, the everyday woman, and it's like, you're not going to see me on TV in a sports bra, with, like, a little roll coming over my pants, because that's not my image, but you will see me on the beach in a bikini, and I feel great in it. So that's, I guess, the personal, dealing with myself, and then also the professional, like, when I started analyzing it a little bit more, like, does this look good on camera? Like, does this body look good is this how I want to represent myself? So yeah, just thinking, like, everyday woman, I'm not any different than other people. I just focus on this a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
self-awareness is such a helpful thing in all professions, I think, life events, as long as you understand who am I, what do I care about, and you kind of follow your compass, but you know what your compass is.
Right.
I think that takes away half the problems that we face.
Yeah. And sometimes you do have to, check the compass and, like, sit and figure out, am I going to change?
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Totally get it. So you've done all this amazing stuff. You have your brand, you know who you are. You have, a good handle of what you're doing. Nice big ticks. Awesome. High five.
Thank you.
What's next? Do you have, like, some big hairy goal that you're working towards?
So I, the first season of Step It Up with Steph that aired nationally on PBS just launched, like, I guess a year ago this month. So because of COVID, like, things were a little derailed with filming. But we are looking to do the season 2 to come out later this year. And then in the meantime, I would love to continue doing the PBS show. I had always said I wanted, like, a daily health and wellness talk show. So I'm working with a TV manager now. So,
Nice.
it grew and grew and grew. You don't just like get these things, because you call someone. It's like, you gotta prove yourself.
You gotta earn it.
Yeah, you gotta earn it. Yeah. So, so I guess just, upping that more, like upping the frequency of the TV show. Because the whole premise of the Step It Up with Steph show right now on PBS is we meet with a woman who's having a health or lifestyle issue, and we bring in a panel of experts. We give her, kind of her 4-week plan. We give food recommendations. We have a weekly workout for whatever that issue is, whether it's weight loss or menopause or anxiety. And then we follow up with the guest in 4 weeks and see her, incredible transformation. So that's like the premise. It's like kind of like a makeover show, but like under, because we're doing stuff inside and like thoughts and everything.
Yeah.
So I love.
How do I volunteer to be on that? Because oh my God.
Well, we're currently doing filming in Chicago. So if you somehow are in Chicago.
I am in Chicago and I have so many pounds that need. Yeah. Anyway.
A few at a time, small goals, small plans, Yeah,
but there's so much baked goods on the planet.
I know. Well, I will say, Magda, so for me with my carb and sugar cravings, so I went to see a naturopath doctor. And I was like, I just felt, all over the place before I, got all into health and wellness, and I was not eating enough protein. So I need to eat protein every 3 to 4 hours. If I don't, I will eat an entire pizza. I will eat an entire, king size of candy, because that stuff, you're looking for that hit, I'm looking for a pick me up. So if I do that, then I drop, and then I do it again, and then I drop. Whereas with the protein, I stay steady. So now, and like I always say, knowledge is power. So now it's like, okay, if I'm craving that stuff, or if I'm eating something unhealthy uncontrollably, when's the last time I had protein? Oh my God, it's been like 6 or 7 hours. That's why I'm eating this. So then I don't feel bad about it. I just, eat the protein or know it, cognitively. So then it makes me not want the cookies as much.
Yeah.
But that's so common. Like it is an addiction, So, and that's something I like to focus on is not beating yourself up over something that's like a physical addiction, So just a side note there.
I like that. And I need to apply that. I keep telling myself that it's how I invest my calories. So I'm not going to say no to eating something, but I think about, okay, if this is not something that I'm like totally into, why am I eating this? I'm going to instead indulge in something that I really, really like.
Yes, I love that. Or a trick that I do if I'm like really craving these, I love these salt and vinegar kettle chips, but they don't have like a single bag sometimes. So I'll buy the full bag, it's like $4. It's twice as much. But then I'll put, 2 handfuls on a plate. I'll crumble up the rest, dump it in the sink, and then that's done. And so I have my single serving. So
okay, I'm not that far. No. Well, I will not be wasting any kettle chips.
Yeah, right.
I'll put them aside and I'll package them. But you gotta do what works for you. You gotta do what works for you.
Right. Yeah. See, I keep them in the cupboard and then I go back for more and more. So.
Oh my God, you're making me hungry. This is not how it's supposed to go. I'm supposed to be motivated to eat more healthy, not to go and get the kettle chips.
Broccoli tastes great. Broccoli tastes so good.
It does.
I know. So something I'm really into is baking vegetables. So I just put any vegetable on a sheet pan, 400 degrees, olive oil, and that like pink sea salt that you twist on there.
Yep.
It's amazing.
And for anyone who's watching who has salt issues, Trader Joe's has this thing. I think it's called like 21 something. But Trader Joe's has this mix that's a bunch of different spices, and it has the kind of effect of flavor, umami, and salt, but it's salt free.
Oh wow!
Yeah, highly recommend it. I just discovered it last week, and it's great.
Oh, cool, good discovery.
Yeah. Yes, I'm an eater. Let's just different webinar.
Yeah,
I need to have a chef on here so I can drool along with what the chef tells me about. It's more my speed. So very cool, Steph. I really enjoy hearing that this stuff takes time, but it's possible.
Yes.
So definitely have you for a webinar where we can learn more about those things. And we'll look out for Step It Up with Steph on PBS. And is it online as well, on a YouTube channel or anything like that?
Yeah,
Okay,
you can go to PBS. I think it's pbs.com and search for Step It Up with Steph. And then also you can get more info at on the website, stepitupwithsteph.com. And then I'm also on Instagram a lot, Step It Up with Steph.
Okay.
Yeah, the show you can watch full episodes on the website. So
cool.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I link that in the notes of wherever this is going to end up. So if you're watching right now later, go into the notes. It'll be there. I for sure will link it. But Steph, let's maybe finish off on a action point. I'm a practical person.
Yes.
We had some great tips already, but like, what's like the one thing, if there's one thing I'm going to do, or people who are watching today, to live more healthy and feel better about themselves, what should they do?
Only one thing. See, if the one thing doesn't appeal to you, I want to give you something that appeals to you.
Okay, fine. Give us 3.
Side note on this too. So I was so sick of workout routines and figuring out how to spice up, healthy eating in the pandemic, that I was like, gosh, how am I going to talk about all this in January? You know what I mean? I'm like, so everyone's sick of it. So I created a challenge called Wellness Redone in 2021. So today is like day 3 of it. You can go to stepitupwithsteph.com and sign up for it if you want, but it's one challenge a day that is, it's not like, do bicep curls. It's like, if you have a hard time going to bed at night, like if you're a procrastinator or if you're watching Netflix, put a piece of dark chocolate on your pillow and turn your bed down so that it looks like you're in a nice hotel with turn down service. And that will entice you to go to bed earlier. If you've been saying you want to go for a walk outside for exercise, go for a walk outside, not for exercise, just to breathe and walk, set your timer for 5 minutes. If you're someone who has a lot of junk food in the house, set up a barricade so that you have water bottles, so that you have to drink a water bottle before you get anything out of the pantry or, something out of the fridge. Okay, I'm going to give 2 more options then. So the job for today is to pick one of those things. Fourth idea is to write a 1-word mantra on a sticky note, and that is your mantra for today. So whether it's relax, or maybe it's like value myself, or maybe it's prioritize myself, or maybe it's like smile. I don't know, something that you want to put yourself in the mood for today. And then finally doing 60 seconds of slow, deep breathing, just to connect with yourself. I find that when I do that, I have less cravings. I want to do less unhealthy things. And that just really centers me. So in through the nose and then out through the nose. Do it, 10 times. So that'll equal about 60 seconds.
That's awesome. And I'll have a side note too. I actually used one of your tricks because I got a treadmill, like a folding treadmill. And I got a desk thingy, thinking, okay, I could multitask, I could walk and do stuff. Didn't work. It was wobbly, I got dizzy, didn't work. But then my sister had the brilliant idea of getting a stationary bike. So I'm like, interesting. So I researched stationary bikes and got one that has a low front so that I moved the little desk on the bike. Ooh. And normally I'd be like, biking, whatever, boring, annoying. Yeah. And I kept telling myself that I have to do that in order to exercise. Now I'm just sitting down because it's actually a comfortable place to sit. Yeah. And an hour and a half goes by and I'm doing emails or whatever. And I've been biking the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome. I just don't think about it anymore.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah. So that's only been a few days because this is a Christmas present, but
That's great though. And that's the other thing. The novelty sometimes can wear off of this stuff, but until it wears off, milk it. Just use it and don't worry if it wears off, then you can find something else, Yeah. But that's that. For me too in COVID. My old tricks were really wearing off, Yeah. So that's great though.
Cool. Thanks. Yay! Awesome. Love it. Steph, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're a busy lady. So thank you for your time. Thank you for all the tips. Thanks for sharing your story. Step It Up with Steph. Everyone go to the website, sign up for the challenge. I'm going to because it sounds fascinating. And if that means I get a chocolate on my pillow,
Yes.
it's not exactly a bad idea either.
Thank you for all that you do for this community too, Magda. Everyone is lucky to have you. So yeah.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yes.
And thank you, community. Thank you, everybody. And happy 2021. May you all be healthy and hopefully a little bit wiser than all of us were last year.
Yeah.
We can all use a bit more wisdom, I think.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you, Steph. Good luck with all of your cool projects and your TV show.